When Michael meets Dalia, he thinks it's meant to be.
We just seemed like we connected perfect.
There's just one problem. She wants him dead.
Oh, are you sure you want to kill this dude?
I'm positive, like 5,000% sure.
Who would ever see that coming? I didn't even get kill him softly, make him go away painlessly.
She is determined. But there's a twist in the plot.
This is Sergeant Frank Ramsey. It's very urgent when you come home. It involves your husband. There's been an incident.
He had it so bad that Love was blind, deaf, and dumb.
My name is Steve Sharippa. I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York. I've seen good people turn bad and bad people turn worse. Some took contracts to carry out a hit. Some were victims of a hit. To hitmen, life and death is just part of the business. It's nothing personal. It's a beautiful August morning in South Florida. And 26-year-old Dalia Dippolito is starting it at the gym. That's when she gets the phone call every wife fears.
This is Sergeant Frank Ramsey, Boynton Beach Police Department. We're at your residence, ma'am. It's very urgent when you come home. It involves your husband. There's been an incident.
At the condo Dalia shares with husband Michael, the grim task of securing a homicide scene is nearly complete. Boynton Beach cops are well trained in crime scene procedures. They'll need their skills today because this one is a fake. There's no body, just a trap for a homicidal newlywed wife. This is a story about a terrible thing that almost happened to a guy who should have seen it coming. It's about a temptress who sets up the man who loves her, kind of like that old Bible story, Samson and Delilah. Mike thinks he's in a different movie, one of those hooker with a heart of gold jobs. Pretty Woman, maybe. But Delilah, Dalia, make no mistake. She's a vixen straight out of the Old Testament. October 2008, the year before that fateful August. Michael Dippolito isn't looking for trouble, but he does want to get naughty. Mike's wife, Maria, is out of town. He has needs and a telephone. Bad combo.
He called an escort to his office in Boca, and the woman that showed up was Dalia.
Samson, meet Delilah. How did Mike feel that ill-starred day?
I'd like to tell you I met Dalia at church, but I'd be lying to you. Me and Dalia, we got along really well right from the beginning. At the time, I thought my first marriage wasn't really working out. I wasn't happy, and I meet Dalia, and everything's new and exciting. And the reality, looking back on it, I made a very bad choice. I had a really good first wife.
When Maria got back from traveling, she told me that Michael did pretty quickly ask for a divorce. Maria and Michael Dippolito were divorced in January of 2009, and 5 days later, Dalia and Michael Dippolito were married.
When I first met Dalia and we got married that fast, we just seemed like we connected perfect. When I was with Dalia, I felt very alive. We'd have sex like 5 times a day, every day. It was exciting all the time.
Dalia must have some mind-blowing talents, but Michael believes it's way more than that. It's a beautiful connection that's meant to be. What he doesn't know is that Dalia is no stranger to such fateful connections, and she's turned a profit on every one.
She certainly seemed to be linked to gentlemen that had money. She liked the lifestyle. She liked the fancy clothes. She liked the fancy jewelry.
What she likes most is keeping everything when the romance is over. For a girl who likes costly trinkets, Dalia came to the right place. Boynton Beach is right next door to Palm Beach. When old money flies south for the winter, it often lands right here. The price of admission to those gated mansions is usually a trust fund. What Dalia's got is a hot body. That works too. if, like her, you're willing to rent it out to paying customers.
She'd get her hair done every week, fake eyelashes, fake nails, the fake boobs. You know, there's a lot of maintenance involved. She spent time fixing herself up to look good.
Florida is a really transient place, and a lot of people come to Florida to escape their lives, whether they are criminals or whether they're retirees.
If you think about it, criminals and retirees are both after easy lifestyles. The difference is who earned the money. Dalia came from New York. For Mike, Florida is a refuge from some mistakes he made back in Philly.
I originally came to Florida to stay out of trouble. And lo and behold, you know, I've done quite the opposite of that, I hate to say.
Before we get too far, you ought to know that hiring Dalia for a quickie is not Mike's first ethical lapse. Before their fateful encounter, he'd made a career of scamming people out of their nest eggs. He'd lure them into surefire investments and keep the money.
We had a business that didn't exist. We were raising funds, foreign currency options that we didn't trade.
He took the money that they were supposedly investing and he spent it on whatever he wanted. So then he was busted, and he did go to prison.
He does plead guilty, accepts responsibility for the charges, and he spends 2 years in prison. And then he's put on probation for, I think it's 28 years, so he's gonna be on probation till the year of 2032.
Mike Dippolito's friends say he comes out of prison a changed man, determined to stay on the up and up. Well, score one for Florida's corrections department. Mike starts a new life, full of promise. His biggest commitment is to pay back the people he ripped off. We'll get to that later. Right now, let's stay on the romance. Mike and Dalia seem made for each other.
My main thing is tanning in the gym.
There was a routine that Dalia described for her and Michael's daily lives together. That routine consisted of waking up pretty early in the morning. She said she would give him steroid injections. Then they would both go to the gym. Michael Dippolito had liposuction, I believe, on his love handles.
I have a bad habit. I focus a lot on the external things. You know, wow, palm trees, it's exciting. Everybody has a nice car. And I'm a shopaholic. I love to shop.
So, Mike and Dalia share the same values. They're shallow, but they are values. For Dalia, becoming Mrs. Dippolito is a dream come true. Before, she only got trinkets for her favors. You know, jewelry, a car. Now she has a whole condo. Trouble is, it isn't really hers. She can't sell it and move on, and anyway, she's just married to the owner. It won't be her property unless something drastic happens. But these days, anything is possible.
All of this was happening in less than 3 months. Every day something was moving, and it was exciting. Sure, I didn't have time to breathe. Everything was working out perfect. I bought the house. We got married. We got a new dog. I would say to Dalia, I said, some people don't ever get to this spot. I said, we're young and we're already there.
As far as Mike can see, Dalia's a little miracle who's upended his life in every possible way. All of them good.
She just seemed like she had her act together. She was telling me that she was, you know, selling real estate. And I believed it. Why would I not?
She did get a real estate license, I believe, and she was working for a real estate company. Perhaps briefly, but long enough to sell Michael Dippolito his condo.
How she sells Mike the idea that she's suddenly become a successful real estate agent is a head-scratcher. But it's something he wants to believe.
She was telling me she had a couple closings from houses coming, and they just never materialized.
The commissions never materialized because Dalia isn't selling real estate. She's still in the escort business. Dalia and Mike are both giddy with the excitement of getting what they always wanted. Mike's got Dalia, and Dalia's finally got something to show for all of her hard work besides chump change and rug burns. Thing is, Mike hasn't figured out that he's the one thing in this pretty picture Dalia could live without. Okay, So let me set the scene. Wednesday, August 5th, 2009, Boynton Beach, Florida. At about 6:30 in the morning, Mike Dippolito is rudely awakened. The cops tell him his wife planned to have him killed today. Oh, it's gonna get wild. Mike needs to come downtown pronto. So how did we get here? From guy meets girl to newlywed wife tries to have husband whacked. Oh, it's easy to say Mike should have seen it coming, but who would? To any normal person, it's just too damn weird. Even so, it's not like there haven't been red flags. For starters, Dalia likes money and travel.
She absolutely loved that fast-paced lifestyle. It's what she wanted. And once she got a taste of that, she wanted more.
Trouble is, Mike owes every penny he has to the people he ripped off.
He'd served his prison time. The only condition he had left was to pay off the $191,000 in restitution to the victims.
And Mike, well, he can't go anywhere.
My probation keeps me in Palm Beach County. Dalia pressed me a little about the probation. Look, you have to get off, because she wanted to travel.
The idea of so much cash being returned to its rightful owners is more than Dalia can stand. She figures out a way to put it in her pocket. But to pull it off, she's gonna have to scam her own husband. Dalia did tell Mike that she'll do anything to get that restitution monkey off his back. She says she'll kick in nearly $100,000 of her own money to make that happen. Mike's problem is he believes her.
I was blinded by love, and I just never saw any of that coming. It seemed like me and Dalia were on the same page with everything, and we were moving in the same direction.
But the direction Dalia's moving in is towards Mike's money. And now she gets a big chance. Mike's lawyer tells him not 1 cent of his restitution payments can come from any questionable source. Mike's accounts are still tainted. So Dalia suggests the money come from her account, which Mike believes is full of squeaky clean real estate commissions.
Dalia said, you know, look, I'll put up half, and you put up the other half, and then we'll be done with this, and we can do all these things we want to do. I had been on probation a long time. I was more excited to get off probation than I was in anything else. I was going to get my life back.
The plan is for Mike to give Dalia $100 grand in cash. She puts it in her account and adds 91 grand of her own. Does Dalia have that kind of money?
I never really looked at Dalia's money, ever. You know, I wasn't concerned with that.
Well, he should have been. Dalia's never sold a thing except his condo and her body.
So Michael starts to give her money. He writes her checks, he gives her some cash. Over a period of about 2 or 3 weeks, he gives her the $100,000, thinking, this is my wife. She loves me, she wants to help me, we're in this together.
I gave Dalia my half, you know, and her half just never seemed to show up. You know, and once that happened, I guess you could say the games began.
She takes his money and she just spends it how she wants.
We go shopping sometimes, and once in a while, you know, she'd say, hey, let me pay for that. You know, the funny thing is, I was paying for it. It was my money, you know, but I would never know that, right?
Dalia's scheme bears an uncanny resemblance to a well-known street scam. But she's got a big problem. She's married to the victim. What's worse, she doesn't even like him. What's the cure for the 7-week itch? What if Michael was back behind bars?
My impression was that she thought he'd be a perfect source of wealth, Michael Dippolito, as long as he wasn't there. And she could just enjoy the house and the cars and everything with him being in jail.
The cops get a series of anonymous tips saying Mike is a big-time coke dealer. Check his car. You'll see.
They're looking, they find a cigarette pack with cocaine in it. I said, why would I put that under my tire? You know, if that was mine, I would assume it'd be in my pocket. Cop pulled me aside and they're talking. He says, look, I'm gonna let you go. And I'm like, I had no idea why this guy let me go. All he had to do was arrest me and I was in a lot of trouble. Even if he arrested me and let me go, I was in trouble.
Here's the bit that gets me. Lawmen love finding parolees breaking the law. Boom, back to prison. No trial, no hassle. But even the cops think Coke, smoke. This is a setup. They tell Mike to watch his back and let him go. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to make some elementary deductions here. Let's start with who's got the keys to my car?
I was at the courthouse, and I ran into the arresting officer, and they said to me, hey, you know, I just wanted to let you know the reason we let you go that day, because we knew it was your wife. And I looked at him, I said, how'd you know it was my wife? He said, she was more irritated that she had to stand there and wait than she was upset for you.
Then there were several calls to his probation officer, several anonymous calls made that he's dealing drugs out of his house, that he's selling steroids, that he's selling ecstasy, and the probation officer would show up unannounced and do searches of Mike Dippolito's house. During that period of time, what she's doing is she's trying to have him arrested. She's trying to set him up. She's trying to get his probation officer to violate his probation so he'll go back to prison.
How do we know all these details? Dalia is a text addict. Check out this little gem.
She definitely was enlisting her former boyfriends to try and help her get rid of Michael.
Dalia's many boyfriends seem only too glad to help. And why not? I mean, she's hot, and she makes it clear she's bored with Mike and very much available.
She maintains contact with a lot of her ex-lovers and uses them for whatever she needs.
Her bestest texter, with benefits, is a rich guy in California named Stanley.
She uses him, actually, to assist her in trying to get Mike Dippolito arrested, trying to have him put in jail, planning drugs on him, conspiring to take the house from him, and ultimately she tells Mike Stanley that she wants to be with him, capitalizing on the fact that he's a wealthy man.
Stanley is not only rich, he's a buddyless Lothario who could make any girl squirm with textual desire. Dalia, I have always wanted you. You are my unicorn. What the hell does that even mean? Stanley is happy to be Dalia's love slave, but he's on the wrong coast. He can work the phones, though. So, Mike gets a phone call, supposedly from a lawyer friend of Dalia's, who convinces Mike to sign his paid-for condo over to her. His hook? You need to protect yourself, Mike. Dalia could be your shelter.
During one phone call, do you have any assets? Do you have anything that's in your name? Because I'm concerned that if you do, that since you owe this restitution, they can take your assets. And he says, well, I do actually happen to own a house. He says, well, you need to get the house out of your name and put it in your wife's name. He and Dalia go the next morning, and he signs the house over. She gets the deed to the house. The title's totally in her name. She gets Mike Stanley to call the Department of the Treasury, to call the IRS, to call the Department of Corrections, trying to get Mike Dippolito in trouble with the authorities and arrested and back in jail so that he and Dalia can be together.
While all this is going on, it seems from Dalia's texts that she's still in the escort business. Love is blind, clueless, call it what you want. Mike doesn't even notice.
Michael Dippolito said that his friends and family suspected his wife of causing some of this trouble for him, but he didn't listen to them.
Dalia, from what I found out, was texting numerous old boyfriends. So she must have literally been walking out of the room and turning the corner and texting away. I never saw it.
You could fault Dalia for a thing or two, like being greedy, manipulative, and evil, but you can't call her vague. Despite making her wishes clear, Dalia's efforts to get her husband back behind bars are going nowhere. And that puts her in a sticky situation. She's burnt through Mike's restitution money. Now, in my experience, people tend to get bent out of shape when large sums of money go missing.
I promised this money to probation. Well, they wanted it. And now I don't have an excuse for where it went. I had confronted her a couple times. She would get very upset. It's not me. What are you talking about? You know I'm coming up with the money. You know, I'm trying to give my wife credit.
Oh, Dalia has her ways to calm Michael down. And she gives him no time to think. Before Mike, the guy she leeched off didn't mind. But Mike needs that $100 grand now to get his ass off probation.
After 2.5 weeks of this, you know, it just got to the point where I knew, you know, she was lying. And, you know, our sex life's still good. We're still getting along. We're still doing the things we do. But, you know, there's this shadow over me of, you know, okay, where's this money? Because now everybody's asking me, Mike, where's this money supposed to be here?
So, Dalia's cornered. Mike's gonna figure it out soon, and it will be ugly, unless something takes him out of the picture. It's hard to believe, but it seems that Dalia's heart is made of ice. Murder for her is an easy way out of an awkward situation. Oh, and speaking of ice.
She brought him tea that was laced with antifreeze.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll see you later.
Okay. All right. Have fun.
I grab the tea and I take a sip. I couldn't get it out of my mouth fast enough to spit it out. It tasted like gasoline. In my mind, I'm just thinking, oh, they didn't stir my tea. I didn't think anything of it.
So Michael Dippolito misses every possible tip-off. He is alive today through no fault of his own. After the poison tea goes down the drain, Dalia realized she needs professional help. Therapy? Nah. This is a show about hitmen, remember? I mean, what do you think she's going to do? It's 5 minutes from Dalia Dippolito's gym to the condo where she believes her husband's been murdered. She thinks she's driving down Easy Street. At 26, she's a rich widow. All she needs to do now is fake bereavement as well as she faked being a happy newlywed. There are better solutions to Dalia's dilemma than murder, but none of them seem to cross her mind. If you're in the sex trade, I guess immediate release is what you're usually after. But hiring a hitman is the long-term solution. And she's got an immediate problem. What do?
She produces a check for $191,000 so that Mike Dippolito can be off probation.
There's no money to back it up. But Mike doesn't know that. This gets a little complicated, so pay attention. They bring the $191,000 check to Mike's lawyer. But now Dalia demands that he pony up the extra 91 grand, not her. Mike's in a bind. He gets the cash and gives it to Dalia. She hands over the check. Is there time for one last flim-flam? Why, yes, there is. The old switcheroo.
Mike Dippolito walks into his lawyer's office and hands him the check, thinking he's now off probation. He didn't look at it, thinks it's the same check.
The lawyer opens the envelope. He finds a check for $191, not $191,000. Now Mike's really confused. He's no stranger to con games, but could his own wife be pulling a fast one? So now Dalia's really in a bind. What could she come up with? How about, I'm not thinking clearly, Mike, 'cause I'm pregnant with your baby. I know what you're thinking. Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, yes, she did.
Now I think I have a child coming with her, and so, you know, it's not only my new wife, it's my new pregnant wife. We're sitting there every night. She's reading baby books. I mean, this girl's nuts. We almost painted my extra bedroom with a baby mural. Thank God I didn't do that.
At the time, Mike thinks life's great with Dalia, but something odd is going on. Could somebody be out to get him? He's nervous and sets up security cameras.
Other than the issue where, you know, the missing money and the probation, he said he thought he had the perfect marriage. They got along great, they went everywhere together. He said they had a tremendous sex life. I mean, he was very happy other than that one particular issue.
The girl's sleeping in bed next to me every night. Her mother's over the house every other night. I'm at her mom's house every other day. You know, I'm doing a lot of nice things with her family. I just, you know, I couldn't imagine. I guess, let's just say this, if I was gonna do what she did, I wouldn't bring her around my family or people if I was just planned on robbing and trying to kill someone. I don't see it. So that fogged my judgment a little as well.
Now, Dalia married Mike in February 2009. By April, she's working on getting Mike whacked. I think Black Widow spiders have longer honeymoons. Dalia realizes that killing Mike will be a lot easier if she outsources the job. So she decides the perfect candidate is her longtime lover, Mohammed Shahada. Mohammed gives her some pushback. Unlike Dalia, he knows the difference between a favor and homicide.
They're having a heated conversation and she's saying about how she wants to have her husband killed. And there's some gang members from Riviera Beach that are close and can hear their conversation. So they step in and say, we'll do it. She takes them and drives them by the house that she lives in with Mike Dippolito. They come back and they tell Mohammed, you know, she's crazy, we're not gonna do it. There's surveillance cameras outside of the front of the house.
When the gangbang is back out, Dalia turns up the heat on Mohammed. If he won't help her, she'll find someone else or do it herself with his gun. For Mohammed, the bloom is definitely off the Dalia rose. Illicit nookie he was up for. First-degree murder, not so much. Florida fries people for that. So what does he do? He calls the cops. Mohammed tells Detective Alex Marino of the Boynton Beach PD about Dalia's crazy scheme. Detective Marino tells Mohammed he'll need his help to shut her down. Mohammed agrees to play along.
I'm glad the guy obviously did what he did and turned Dalia into the police. He saved my life. In all fairness, you know, he spent a lot of my money with her, and he's banging my wife, so I'd have to say we're kind of even.
Detective Moreno knows he's got to catch Dalia red-handed or he can't charge her. Mohammed's story, just hearsay. So he bugs Mohammed's car and then gets him to set up a rendezvous.
Dalia Dippolito showed up at the gas station driving in her car. The informant was at the gas station already waiting for her. She exits her vehicle, goes into the informant's car that was set up with the video and audio, and they immediately began the conversation, and without any hesitation, she begins talking about how she wanted her husband killed.
Mohammed is an actor, and he sticks to the script. I won't do it myself, Dalia, but I do know a guy. Dalia hands over pictures of Mike in their condo. The police get it all on tape. One take.
Right, but right now I'm not seeing him. I'm not anything. Wipe my hands off this pictures. Really? You're gonna give him something with my fingerprints all over?
I'm gonna show it to him. He's not gonna keep it.
The next scene the cops want is the money shot. Dalia hiring a hitman. Officer Whitty John looks like a cop, but Dalia doesn't pick up on it. Now, here's a little tip for you. Policemen and bad guys look alike, but cops have better teeth.
They told me they had this lady who was trying to find someone to kill her husband. So they wanted me to pose as the hitman and try to make contact with her and set up a meeting so we can talk about, you know, the details of killing her husband.
Officer Woody Jean, he was in the undercover unit, so we decided that he would be the best guy to play the role as a hitman. Woody Jean had been working undercover for a while, so he was actually very experienced.
Dalia Dippolito meets Officer Whitty John in his guise of killer for hire.
We had our undercover unit set up the cameras inside the car, which would have been Woody Jean's car, and we set up audio where we can actually listen as it's happening live.
Which is why we could hear exactly what Dalia said when she thought she was hiring a hitman.
Could we really have to?
I told her, well, okay, so how do you want it done? Where do you want it done? She was definitely interested in telling me, this is his schedule, you know, on Wednesday, that's when I want it done, if it's possible. I said, well, Wednesday's good, we could.
Wednesday's 2 days away. What you're seeing is a desperate woman who fears her scheming ways are about to be revealed.
At the house, like how soon could you do it?
I could do it Wednesday morning.
Her interaction with the hitman was very much a business transaction. Here's what I want to happen, here's his schedule, here's pictures, here's the money, like, let's get this done. She never expressed very much emotion about having her husband killed.
It was like she was going to make a nail appointment. She was gonna have her husband murdered, someone she supposedly loved, someone she's married to, and she could have cared less.
But even when hiring a hitman, Dalia's a savvy shopper. In fact, she's got an ingenious scheme to get Mike whacked for free.
Telling you, he's going into the bank on Wednesday and he's pulling up money. Like, I know what bank he's going to.
What bank is it going?
Dalia hatches a plan for Mike to pay for his own hit. He's gonna get 10 grand from the bank in a couple of days, she tells Whitty. Hit him on the street, take the money, we're even. Bad plan, says Whitty. Too many witnesses. Too hard to fake is what he's really thinking. What Whitty really needs is for Dalia to offer him money. That's the crime.
Okay, when it's all done, I was gonna get $3,000 from you today.
Then Whitty Jean convinces Dalia that the way to do the hit is at the condo. The old robbery gone bad ploy.
Because I was looking in newspapers here, there's been a lot of burglaries in this area.
You also want to establish different aspects of a crime. You know, you definitely want to show intent. You actually want to gather evidence.
Criminal intent? This is what it sounds like.
I'm determined already. I'm positive, like 5,000% sure.
I still just say to myself, you know, why didn't she just hire a lawyer and divorce me? I mean, what would I do? Cry? Say no? You know, she would have still wound up, you know, making out like a bandit.
Dalia thinks that hitman is her ticket to life as a prosperous Boynton Beach widow. All of her needs will be taken care of. Officer Whitty Jean also has plans to get Dalia what she needs, but he thinks shackles will be a good start.
You try to be as relaxed and cool as possible without losing your edge. Basically, you don't want to be in there, relaxed, so cool to the point where you become complacent and, you know, you're gonna die.
Dalia's bought Whitty Jean's act. She offers him $3,000. That's pretty cheap for a hitman. But all Officer John needs on tape is for her to make any offer of money for murder.
Her intent was that I'm gonna pay $1,200 to get him killed. If he asked for $3,000, okay, I'm willing to pay $3,000.
Meanwhile, lead investigator Alex Marino is blocking out the sting for the day of the hit. He wants Dalia on camera after she thinks Mike's been killed. A trial, like a movie, is a show. He's preparing for it and wants every scene just right. What do you need to dress your set? Cop cars, crime tape, you know, all that CSI stuff.
We're gonna make it believe like it was a robbery or a burglary that went wrong. Put some fingerprint dust in front of the house, by the front door. Just make it look like somebody just got killed inside the house.
The hit is set for Wednesday morning. Dalia's job is to make herself scarce.
I give her the instructions to leave her house by 6 o'clock in the morning.
So this is Dalia's moment of truth. She could call it off, stay home, tell the hitman never mind. She might have to do some fast talking, but she's good at that. She doesn't do it. She kisses Mike goodbye like it's any other day. She heads to the gym, figuring when she sees him next, it'll be at the morgue.
Dalia gets up, says, I'm gonna go to the gym today, and I'm like, okay. She just won't stop talking.
When she leaves the house early in the morning, she takes all her jewelry to the gym. I mean, who does that?
She took, you know, some of her prized possession with her because she knew that I was gonna be stealing things from the house. She didn't want one of the things stolen to be hers.
Wednesday morning, everybody shows up early in the morning, and people get assigned to different locations where they're gonna be conducting surveillance. We set detectives at the house, giving us information when she leaves and when she goes to the gym.
With Dalia gone, the cops go to work. They've got to get it done fast. First thing, break the news to the newlywed that the woman of his dreams wants him 6 feet under.
Sergeant Sheridan, Paul Sheridan, knocked on the door, and I was also standing there, and we made contact with Mr. Michael Dippolito for the first time. And we tell him that, hey, we're conducting an investigation where your wife is trying to get you killed, and that's why we're here, and we need to get you out of the house as soon as possible. He was shaking, nervous, in shock. He didn't know what to think.
You know, it hit me. I'm like, okay, everything that happened, you know, the drugs, everything crazy that's been happening, the money missing, I just knew it was her. I kind of knew it was her, but I didn't want to. My worst day in the world was that it was my wife. And lo and behold, here's the worst day in the world right now.
When Mike's safely downtown, Sergeant Ramsey calls the wannabe widow.
This is Sergeant Frank Ramsey, Boynton Beach Police Department. We're at your residence, ma'am. It's very urgent when you come home. It involves your husband. There's been an incident.
Upon her arrival, she sees all this police action going on and the yellow tape and everything else. So she pretty much has an idea, thinking that her husband had been killed.
What you're about to see is the first and only take of Dalia's career-making performance.
Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, man. He's been killed. He's been killed, man. Listen, try to calm down. Right now, we need to get you to the police station. I can't let you in now. We have to do our job. You want to find his killer, okay? We need you to calm down.
You gotta give Dalia credit. She's a master at faking emotion. She's put a lot of thought into the script for today, and she plays her part beautifully. But things are about to go off script. Dalia's gonna have to try some improv, and the show just keeps getting better. Dalia Dippolito has just been told that her husband Michael has been murdered. Everybody in this scene is acting. She's not sad nor surprised. And the cops, oh, they faked the whole scene. What Dalia doesn't know is that her husband Michael is alive and cooling his heels down at the Boynton Beach PD.
The police told me, we're gonna sit in this room, you're gonna be able to watch us confront her. So we sat down there and we waited for him to bring Dalia in.
Now, I know a thing or two about acting, and so do cops, especially when it comes to things like, I'm shocked by this terrible thing that I had nothing to do with.
I've informed people in reference to their loved ones dying, and I've always had a different reaction than what Dalia Dippolito did. She immediately, before he can even finish the sentence, she starts crying.
Oh, and that isn't her only miscue.
Right after she gets told about it, she asked about the dogs, which just didn't make any sense. I mean, through my experience, I've never had that. She wanted to see the body. She wanted to make sure that he was dead. And then she jumps into, how are the dogs?
Well, just we need to get your husband's killer, ma'am.
For those of you worrying, the dog is fine. What's not fine is Dalia's script. She doesn't know it, but it's off the rails. It's actually a cop show now. And they need one more scene. Dalia lies through her teeth. They could have set up a better camera angle, but it did get the shot.
We did the initial interview with her and made her believe she was actually helping us in the investigation.
Listen, is there anybody that you know that you think would want to kill your husband?
My husband's on probation.
Dalia points the finger at some of the people from Mike's shady past. When Sergeant Paul Sheridan's heard enough, he pulls the plug.
The game's over with. Okay? There's no more games with you and I. Now we're going to get down to serious business. I want to know if you know this guy. Come here. Bring this guy in here.
Now is when Dalia's mouth gets a little dry, which is always bad news in her line of work.
One of the detectives put handcuffs on me. I handcuffed me behind my back. The guy's was, we've caught the guy who did it. He's a prisoner.
You know who this guy is?
No.
You've never seen him before?
I've never seen him before, ever.
And then she looked up at me. She said, nope, I've never seen him before. No emotion. She just looked at me. She's like, nope, I don't know him.
So another lie, you know, which we had her on video meeting the actual undercover agent days before.
Get him out of here.
With that scene, the cops have their movie in the can. All that's left is what we call the denouement, the wrap-up. It's up to Sergeant Sheridan to give Dalia the bad news.
You're going to jail today for solicitation of murder. You're under arrest. That's an undercover police officer. We filmed everything that you did, recorded everything that you did. You're going to jail for solicitation of first-degree murder of your husband.
I didn't do anything.
Did you hear what I just told you?
I heard.
I couldn't believe it was happening, but yet I completely believed it was happening.
Tell me you didn't do anything?
I didn't do anything.
I want you to quit your acting and get this over with.
You know what?
Still refusing to admit the truth, our dangerous Dalia is about to find out this is a completely different production than the $3 drama she thought she paid for.
You sound like a fool right now denying this, because, like my partner just said, everything's on tape.
She was just like telling us, you guys have been so nice to me, you know, I don't understand, you know, I would never do something like that.
I don't want to give you guys a hard time. Like, you guys have been really nice to me, and I know you didn't have to take special considerations and things like that. I appreciate it.
She was very good at manipulating men. Even during our interview, when I talked to her, she even tried to, you know, manipulate us. What I decided was to let her listen to a portion of the actual meeting of her and the undercover agent to let her know this is really serious.
Determined already. I'm positive, like 5,000% sure. Like,
I'm sitting there saying to myself, I'm like, wow, like I didn't even kill him softly, make him go away painlessly. Like I got like, you know, make sure you kill. It was like kill him, yeah, with a gun, and she's like, yeah, okay. I thought I was always very nice to her, you know. That's what really surprised me.
I also showed her some photos of when she met the undercover agent, and we have all this evidence. Be honest and tell the truth.
Dalia doesn't fess up.
We go ahead and arrest her for solicitation first degree murder.
please.
Can you stand up?
Stand up, please.
Right after that, then we decided to tell her the truth, how her husband wasn't dead. And at one point, we actually bring her husband in front of the interview room and let her see that he was alive.
Oh my God.
He's alive.
Come here, please. Come here. Mike, come here. Come here, please. Come here.
Can't fix it.
Why not? I didn't do anything to you.
When I saw Dalia do the fake crying and the tears and oh my God, you know, I had been watching her lie to me for 3-4 months. If I caught her with her hand in a cookie jar, she would swear to me my hand was not in the cookie jar and not give up. Dalia called me from jail. Everybody wants to know why I took the call. I had to take the call. I just wanted to hear what she was going to say.
I can't help you. Don't you understand what just happened?
What they're saying is not true.
How is that possible?
Like, I'm sitting here. It's not true. It's not possible. You wouldn't even give me 2 minutes to talk to you, but it's not possible. What they're saying is not true. How can you believe that?
I heard your voice.
How can you believe it?
So she's, you know, I didn't do this. How come you're not hiring me a lawyer? And I just couldn't believe that she kept coming and coming. I'm like, look, I said, you're caught. I didn't even get involved and you tried to kill me. I'm more like, you stole my money, you stole my house. I'm like, she's like, help me, help me. And I said, I'll help you. I said, sign my house back over to me and I'll help you.
You know what I'll do? You know what I'll do for you? Seriously?
What?
You sign my house back over to me, I'll help you, Mom. Give me my house back. That's it.
That's it, what?
I'll help you. So I don't have to go through the legal bullshit I have to go through already.
What does that mean?
It means sign my property back to me that you stole, basically.
That's what you're thinking, and I didn't steal anything.
All right, so listen. I'll have the papers sent over to you somehow. You'll sign them over to me, and then I will help your mother. Okay?
I'm not signing anything.
And I knew what she'd say. Of course, she says, oh, I'm not doing that. And I just chuckled. I said, I knew you were going to say that.
This is someone who basically thinks that nothing's gonna ever happen to her. She's not really gonna be arrested. She's not gonna be convicted of this. She'll get out of this, like she always does.
I didn't do anything, and I didn't plot anything.
One interesting piece of evidence that we found during the course of the investigation, we did a forensic exam of her computer. And the day that she was to meet with Woody Jean, the hitman, while she's waiting for him, she's at home and she's on her computer and she does a search, a Google search. And she types in funeral homes in Boynton Beach, which is where she lived. She clicked into websites such as how to have a meaningful memorial service. So clearly the theory from the prosecution was that, she's sitting there right before she's gonna meet with the hitman, she's plotting her husband's funeral service and she's trying to figure out how she's gonna look like the grieving widow.
So you remember how in that old Bible story, Delilah robbed Samson of his power by setting him up for a haircut? Maybe it's the handcuffs that sapped Dalia's power. When Michael Dippolito faces the woman who tried to end his life, it's hard to see what the attraction was.
When I saw Dalia in court, I felt bad for her. From what I was told, Dalia thought this was all gonna go away and she was gonna move on with her life. And I don't think she understood, what really is happening.
You've seen a greedy, manipulative, evil woman who won't stop at anything.
There's no denying the truth. She did it, and you know it.
Before he sentences Dalia, the judge tells her what he thinks of what she did.
It was pure evil. You were taking advantage of a guy that was gullible, that was in love with you.
Dalia Dippolito gets 20 years. On this day, Michael gets the last word.
I wish we were never here, and as far as the sentence, I'm 5,000% happy with it. That's all for now. If I were talking to Dalia now, I guess I'd say to her, was it worth it? This is a person I would lay in bed and tell her all the things I did wrong to go to prison and be on probation, and how I definitely would never do it again. And, obviously she didn't hear a word I said.
Michael didn't see the entire big picture. He didn't see really what was going on because he was so blinded by love. He had it so bad that love was blind, deaf, and dumb.
The funny part of all this, if you really look at it, she's actually she had me 5 ways to Sunday 10 different times, but she just didn't do it. She couldn't poison me right, she couldn't plant drugs on me right, she couldn't, she had me 5 different ways and just kept fumbling the ball.
So what's the lesson here? Well, here's one thing to ponder. Mike Dippolito had a wife who loved him. He dumped her for a greedy, conniving, homicidal floozy. No matter how small your brain is, it's still bigger than, other body parts. Not using the brain God gave you can be a fatal mistake.